Hi everyone, my name is Pavitra V, Department of Chemistry. Today we are going to discuss the introduction to organic chemistry. It is a basic thing to know about organic chemistry. In that, first we will study the definition of compounds. Organic compound, it may be a solid, liquid or gaseous in nature, but it should contain carbon atom in it. Organic chemistry is a science concerned with all aspects of organic compounds, and the organic synthesis is a method to prepare organic compounds. And we discuss some of the properties of organic compounds, like it should contain carbon atom in it, and carbon is a tetravalent and it can form 4 bonds with other elements. Most of the cases hydrogen is attached to the carbon. Also oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen and halogens can also have a bond with carbon. Halogens are nothing but fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. The typical characters are they have covalent bonds within themselves. In between the atoms we see covalent bonds and they are having a low melting point and low boiling points. They can catch fire easily, they are flammable and they are soluble in non-polar solvent and insoluble in water. These are the properties, and this is the classification of organic compounds. They can be classified into open chain compounds and cyclic compounds. In open chain compounds, we have straight chain compounds and branched chain compounds. Straight chain is nothing but linear in nature. In cyclic compounds, we have two types, homocyclic compounds and heterocyclic compounds. In a cyclic structure, if one of the carbon is replaced by other atom, then it is called heterocyclic compounds. In homocyclic compounds, we have two types, alicyclic and aromatic. Alicyclic is nothing but it is having a only closed structure, whereas in aromatic compounds, it should have alternating single bond and double bond. That is, it should have conjugation and the structure should be a planar in nature and it should follow Huckel rule. This is the rule for a compound that should be aromatic in nature. This is the classification of organic compounds. Then we will see some of the uses of organic compounds in food industry. Organic food are those that are produced using environmentally sound methods that do not involve modern synthetic inputs such as pesticides and chemical fertilizers, do not contain genetically modified organisms and are not processed using irradiation, industrial solvents or chemical food additives. That means we have to use organic manure for the growth of crops or food materials. That foods are called organic foods. We have so many organic restaurants nowadays which is trendy to use. And so now we will move to the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, for example, coal, oil and gas, remainings of the plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. They are buried inside the earth crust and becomes a petroleum fuels. They are all from organic compounds that it should have a carbon atom in it and plenty of heat is evolved when it burnt. For example, methane gas is come in contact with the oxygen, that is burning process. It liberates carbon dioxide and water with enormous amount of energy. We get this methane gas in a biogas when a cow dung is collected in a tank and that tank is connected to a stove or any flammable material through a pipe channel. That cow dung decay to liberate a methane gas. This is also a biogas. Next we will move to some of the uses of organic compounds in some fields, like medicine field. Antibiotics are used to fight bacterial and fungal infections. In engineering, gasoline is a type of fuel which is used in internal combustion engines. Next one is biochemistry, genetic informations like DNA studies. Agriculture, DDT. This is acts as an insecticide to kill the harmful. DDT is nothing but dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. Once again I am telling you, dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, DDT is the acts as an insecticides to kill some of the pests. Organic compounds can be used in a textile industry mainly as a dyes. In dyes there are two types, natural dyes and synthetic dyes. Actually here we are using a natural dyes which are extracted from plants, animals and some of the flowers, some of the parts of the plants like flowers, roots and some seeds, etc. The colored, ionizing and aromatic organic compound to which it is being applied. These are called dyes, and it can be applied to numerous substances like textiles, plastics, papers, etc. Certain kind of dyes can be toxic, carcinogenic or mutagenic. They undergo influence the mutation process inside the DNA and they are like carcinogenic, they are cancer causing agent, and some of the dyes are toxic and they are give some of the hazards to the health. Dyes are large group that can easily be influenced to our liking, so which gives attractive colors for the substrate surfaces. These are the dyes, and next we will see the uses of alcohols. Alcohols can be used in lotions, creams and some of the cosmetics. Usually contain an alcohol called glycerol to keep them moist. When we apply glycerol containing creams or cosmetics on our skin, it keeps the moisture content on the skin. Next one is alternative fuels. For example, gasohol. Gasohol is nothing but 1:9 ratio of ethanol and gasoline. It is acts as a fuel. And then simple alcohols like ethanol, they are poisonous to some extent. And we will see the glycerol contains in the image. These are some of the cosmetics which contains glycerol. This having a hydroxyl group in 3 number. So there is a presence of 3 hydroxyl groups. This structure allows it to form multiple hydrogen bonds with the water. When they combine with water, they form hydrogen bond. Whenever there is a number of hydrogen bond increases, there is an increase in the stability. So glycerol is added to a moisturizer to the skin products. This is the uses of alcohols. When we talk generally organic chemistry in our everyday life, like smell and taste, for example fruits, chocolates, fish and mint, these are the smelling items which for example they have some amount of chemical reagents or organic compounds which gives smelling and taste for the product. In the medication field we have aspirin, Tylenol, decongestants and sedatives. These are the medical terms, medical drugs used. And then one addictive substances, caffeine, nicotine, alcohols and narcotics drugs. And then in hormones and neurotransmitters we have adrenaline and epinephrine. These are the hormones. And further food and nutrients we have carbohydrates, proteins, fat, vitamins, etc. And in genetics, DNA and RNA, these are made up of organic compounds like pyridines and pyrimidines. And next one is consumer products like plastic, nylon, rayon, polyesters. These are some of the polymers of organic compounds.